is one that is aimed at mobilizing the temporal bones. Now, the temporal bones have a tremendous amount of ability to be restricted. We will use them in step number 7 to mobilize or to treat the horizontal membrane system laterally. But first we want to be sure that the sutures of the temporal bones are alleviated before we try to move the temporal bones in their lateral direction. First, I'm going to do a technique called the temporal wobble. In this technique, I support the head, as you see, with my hands, and I take my thumbs and I apply them to the mastoid processes of the temporal bones. And first, what I want to do is take one thumb and move a temporal bone medially at its mastoid tip. Let it go in, let it come out, and then do the opposite. Now I'm going to start with the right thumb, and I'm moving the mastoid tip of the right temporal bone in a medial direction. And it goes in very slowly, and I allow the one on the left side to come out at the same time. Now that seems to be the range, and so now we will apply pressure on the left side and relax on the right side and let the right temporal mastoid tip come out. And we just wobble this back and forth a few times until it begins to be free to move. What we're doing here is we're beginning to mobilize a lot of the sutures that go all the way around the temporal bone and the petrous ridges. The temporal bone, as I say, is very frequently stuck, and it is the key problem in a lot of cases of dizziness, also in cases of strabismus, because it has such a big role to play in the tension that's in the tentorium. And recall that the oculomotor nerves do indeed run between the two layers of the tentorium. The inner ear, the balance mechanisms are all located inside the petrous parts of the temporal bone. And so when the temporal bones get jammed, either in internal rotation or external rotation or any other way, you get a lot of problems that have to do with balance, equilibrium, hearing, buzzing in the ears, all of those kinds of things. The temporal bones, when they're severely restricted,